The Chicago Bears have made another surprising roster move ahead of their Week 8 matchup with the Baltimore Ravens, and this one could be the start of a bigger defensive shakeup. The team has officially released veteran defensive lineman Tanoh Kpassagnon, a decision that clears the way for the long-awaited return of one of their most promising young pass rushers. Kpassagnon's release marks the second time this month that the veteran has been shuffled on and off the Bears roster. Earlier this season, he was signed, released, added back to the practice squad, and now released once again, all within a span of a few weeks. While it may look like a simple roster adjustment on paper, this move likely signals something much more strategic behind the scenes. For fans who've been watching closely, the timing is telling. Head coach Ben Johnson and defensive coordinator Dennis Allen have made it clear that they want to inject more youth, speed, and aggression into this defense, and that means making room for Austin Booker, the rookie edge rusher who turned heads in the preseason before being sidelined. Still, the decision to move on from Kpassagnon doesn't come without surprise. Through the first several games of the season, he was arguably one of Chicago's most consistent defenders. He brought energy, veteran awareness, and much-needed size to a defensive line that has struggled at times to create pressure. At 6'7" and 289 pounds, Kpassagnon possesses rare length and power. Early in the season, he was among the team leaders in quarterback pressures and had been one of the few who consistently found ways to disrupt plays in the backfield. For many fans, releasing him now, right when he seemed to be finding his rhythm, feels like a gamble. But this isn't the end of the road for Kpassagnon in Chicago. The Bears could still look to bring him back later in the year if roster circumstances change. After all, his experience and familiarity with Allen's defensive schemes, from their shared time in New Orleans, make him a valuable depth option. Drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs in the second round of the 2017 NFL Draft, Kpassagnon has built a solid NFL career that includes a Super Bowl ring, 146 total tackles, 17.5 sacks, 44 quarterback hits, and 9 pass deflections. He may not have lived up to the lofty expectations of a second-round pick, but he's carved out a reputation as a dependable veteran who can contribute on multiple fronts. And yet, the Bears' focus now seems clear. It's time to see what Austin Booker can bring to the table. Booker's brief but dominant preseason was enough to get fans talking. In just 2 appearances, against Miami and Buffalo, the rookie totaled 9 tackles, 5 sacks, and multiple quarterback hits, even while facing first- and second-string offensive linemen. Those are staggering numbers for a player still learning the speed and complexity of the professional game. Coach Johnson hinted that Booker was almost ready earlier this month but wanted to give him one more week to recover fully. With Kpassagnon's release, the path is now open. Chicago's defense could be on the verge of getting a massive jolt of youth and energy right when it needs it most. Still, just as one defensive piece returns, another might be slipping away. While the defensive line prepares for a boost, the secondary is suddenly facing a crisis. Star cornerback Tyrique Stevenson is dealing with an injury that could sideline him for an extended period, and it's a blow the Bears can hardly afford. Stevenson has quietly been one of the most dominant defensive backs in the NFC this season. His ability to shut down top receivers and create turnovers has given Chicago's defense its swagger back. But after sustaining a setback during practice, his status has become uncertain heading into Week 8. Coach Johnson offered only a cautious update. "We'll find out more on Wednesday, but right now we're looking at day-to-day, maybe week-to-week." That's not the kind of news Bears fans wanted to hear. Stevenson has been a crucial part of this defensive resurgence. In 6 games this season, he's recorded 25 tackles, 6 pass deflections, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. Since the Lions game in Week 2, quarterbacks targeting him have managed just a 28.6% completion rate, one of the lowest in the league. When you combine his numbers with his lockdown coverage and consistency, you start to understand just how vital Stevenson is to Chicago's success. He's allowed fewer than 40 receiving yards since Week 2 and has routinely held top receivers completely silent. Those are all pro-level numbers, and losing that kind of presence, even for a week or 2, could have ripple effects across the entire defense. With Jaylon Johnson also battling injuries and Kyler Gordon still working his way back to full strength, the Bears' cornerback depth has thinned dangerously. And with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens' explosive offense next on the schedule, Chicago could find itself in a tough position if reinforcements don't arrive soon. This is where things get interesting for General Manager Ryan Poles. The Bears may need to make a move, and fast. Free agency might be the only place to find immediate help before the secondary is fully exposed. But before we break down who the Bears could target, let's take a quick moment. If you're a real Chicago fan, you know what this team is about. It's never easy, never predictable, but that's what makes it worth it. So if you're someone who rides every high and low with this team, now's the time to lock in. Stay connected, stay passionate, and don't miss a single update as this season continues to twist and turn. Because one thing's certain, the Bears' story is far from over. Now, let's talk about who could step in and help this battered secondary right away. The Bears have already explored potential reinforcements for the cornerback position, and two names stand out, both familiar faces to NFL fans, both available, and both capable of contributing immediately. Option 1. Asante Samuel Jr. At 28 years old, Asante Samuel Jr. offers a mix of experience and athleticism that could fit seamlessly into Chicago's system. In 50 career games, he's posted 176 tackles, 37 pass breakups, 6 interceptions, and 1 fumble recovery. Samuel plays with the instincts of someone raised in the game, and for good reason. His father, Asante Samuel Sr., was one of the most respected defensive backs of his era, starring for both the Patriots and the Eagles. The younger Samuel brings that same ball-hawking mentality, often baiting quarterbacks into throws they regret. The one concern surrounding him is health. After suffering a significant injury last year, he's been working his way back to full strength. But reports suggest he's now cleared and ready for mid-season action. A 1-year prove-it deal could give him the opportunity to show he's back while providing the Bears with an immediate replacement for Stevenson if needed. Samuel's skill set, quick hips, elite closing speed, and strong zone awareness fits perfectly with the Bears' current defensive philosophy. If he can return to form, Chicago could get a legitimate starting corner for a fraction of the cost. Option 2. Stephon Gilmore. Then there's Stephon Gilmore, the 2019 NFL Defensive Player of the Year, who brings something this young team desperately needs: leadership. At 34, Gilmore isn't the same shutdown corner he once was, but his experience, intelligence, and preparation still make him a valuable asset for any defense. Over 180 career games, Gilmore has compiled 617 tackles, 149 pass deflections, 32 interceptions, 8 forced fumbles, and 2 defensive touchdowns. His resume speaks for itself: multiple Pro Bowls, deep playoff runs, and a reputation as one of the most technically sound corners of his generation. Perhaps most importantly, Gilmore is already familiar with the NFC North. After his time with the Minnesota Vikings last season, he's well acquainted with receivers like Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Christian Watson, the same names the Bears will face in their upcoming divisional matchups. Adding Gilmore wouldn't just fill a gap on the field, it would also bring mentorship to a young defensive back group still finding its voice. Imagine Stevenson, Gordon, and Wright learning from one of the best to ever do it. That's the kind of long-term investment that pays dividends beyond one season. What lies ahead? So here's where things stand heading into Week 8. The Bears' defensive line is about to get an injection of youth with Austin Booker's return. The secondary could lose one of its brightest stars in Tyrique Stevenson, at least temporarily. And Ryan Poles faces a critical decision: trust the young players already in the room or bring in a proven veteran before it's too late. The coming days will reveal whether this team is willing to take risks to stay competitive. If the Bears choose to stand pat, they'll be betting on development and internal growth. If they act quickly, they might land a difference-maker who helps stabilize the defense as they enter the toughest stretch of their schedule. Either way, Week 8 against Baltimore will be a test, not just of the roster's depth, but of the team's resolve. Chicago has shown flashes of growth this season, but consistency remains elusive. This next stretch will reveal whether that growth is real or just another temporary spark. For now, all eyes are on the injury report and the transaction wire. Because in Chicago, change never happens quietly. It comes suddenly, dramatically, and always with a little bit of chaos. One veteran out, one rookie in, one star waiting for medical clearance, and a city holding its breath. Bear down, Chicago. The fight continues.